The library beneath the sea. They say the sea keeps its secrets, but some secrets it writes down. Off the rocky coast of Amalfi, Italy, where cliffs bite into turquoise water, lived Elena, a young marine biologist who dove every day searching for coral and shipwrecks. One morning, the waves were unusually calm. The fisherman on the dock warned her, "It's too quiet. The sea watches on days like these." Elena smiled politely, adjusted her mask, and dove anyway. At about 30 meters down, past a forest of seagrass and glimmering fish, Elena's light caught something strange. A stone archway. Not part of any wreck she'd ever seen. It was carved with symbols, ancient letters, spirals of waves and eyes. Beyond the arch, she discovered a vast sunken hall, lined with marble shelves. And on those shelves were books, thousands of them, their covers shimmering faintly as though alive, pages unsoaked by the sea. At first, she thought it was an illusion. But when she brushed her fingers over a book, she felt something warm. She opened it. Inside were memories, moving like film, of a sailor clutching his chest and sinking into black water. Another book held a woman crying on a sinking ship. Every book, a memory of someone who had drowned. A library of the lost. Elena moved deeper into the library, mesmerized. Then she stopped. One book on the center pedestal glowed brighter than the rest. Her name was etched on the spine. Her breath caught in her regulator. She opened it with trembling hands and saw herself descending into the dark, lungs burning, mask cracking, arms reaching upward, but no one to save her. A memory where that hadn't happened yet. The water around her suddenly felt heavier. From the shadows, a figure appeared, cloaked in seaweed, with a face like moving sand. It spoke without sound. Once your name is written here, it cannot be unwritten, unless you leave a memory in your place. Elena realized what it meant. If she wanted to live, she had to choose someone else to take her place. Her eyes darted to all the books, all those lives, and she closed her own book slowly. "Not today," she whispered. "You won't have me today." She swam up, lungs aching, pushing against the pull of the library. When she broke the surface, she gasped. The air had never tasted so sweet. When she came up to the surface, she felt the sea chasing her with every breath. She thought she had escaped, but she hadn't really. That night, after she returned to the hotel, she found the book on her nightstand. Wet, heavy, open to a blank page. And at the bottom of the page, written in watery letters, "Your name is still here. It won't be erased until the page is filled." She understood then that the library had released her only temporarily, but it was waiting for her to fill the page with another name. For days, Elena tried to ignore it. But every night she heard in her sleep the shelves collapsing, the souls screaming, and the waves calling her. Choose. She began to see people differently. The old fisherman on the dock, the rich tourist yelling at the waiter, the young man who threw a bottle into the sea. They all seemed like candidates to her. On a cloudy morning, she stood at the dock holding the book in one hand and looking at the water. Behind her stood the head of the diving team, the man who had exploited her for years, stolen her research, and claimed it as his own. Elena smiled. "Would you like to dive with me today?" Finally decided to be useful, he laughed and walked with her to the edge of the dock. When he bent over to look at the sea, Elena pushed him with all her strength. He screamed as he fell, and the water swallowed him quickly. Elena opened the book immediately. And slowly his name began to appear on the page, while hers faded away like mist. "One for one," the library whispered in her head. Then she closed the book and glanced at the sea. "I hope you're at peace now." The next night, when she went to sleep, she no longer heard the screams of the library. But she saw a new shelf in her dream, with her book closed, and next to it another book, blank. The library was not finished yet. It would come back to ask her for another name. And perhaps one day, she would find only herself on the shelf again. The moral? The more you try to survive at the expense of others, the more you find yourself returning to the same point. When you hurt to survive, you plant the seeds of your own pain, and every seed will sprout someday. What you give to the world, whether good or evil, always finds its way back to you.